Good morning, forms 8 to 11. So, back after half term, hope you had a lovely break. We're going to continue with the athletics theme for this week. Today I wanted to look at two different things. I wanted to look at sprinting and the explosive acceleration, and then I want to look at, secondly, shot put. I'll break down the coaching points for each of them in the first of those videos, but first off, the equipment you're probably going to need is some cones or something where you can illustrate space. A ladder. If you don't have ladders, you can set out sticks at progressive intervals, and then a couple of balls. Now, I know you don't have a shot put, so I'm going to use a football, and then I've got a very light type of hard ball, anything basically which is slightly bigger than a tennis ball or a cricket ball, because they'll both be a little bit small. Okay, so we're going to go straight into the warm-up, and basically, first off, we're just going to do a light warm-up today. It's going to be more about explosive power today, and so everything we're going to do, we're going to do a short warm-up, get our muscles relatively warm. Should be a hot week, it's a hot day today, and so we shouldn't have to spend too much time on our cardiovascular stuff, and it's all going to be about explosive power for this warm-up. So explosive means short burst of energy, and it's about using a maximum amount of strength and power to start with. And so for shot put and running, we need our quadriceps, hamstrings, especially our abdominals, and then a little bit to do with our chest, shoulders and back. Okay, flicking it out to jumping jacks. Up to a high knee, because basically that's going to be one of our main coaching points when it comes to our explosive sprinting, is high knees and actually driving our knees up to a high fit heel. Back to jogging on the spot. One more time through jumping jacks. And then high knees, and high heels. Okay, so should have our oxygen pumping around our body. Remember, if anyone can remember those reasons why we do the warm-up, email them me, otherwise I'll tell you them on Wednesday. So, explosive power. So what do we need to look at? So we're going to do some explosive squats, some explosive lunges, some explosive press-ups, and that will be the rest of our warm-up. So we're going to go down into a squat and then just come up for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time we're going to put a little jump onto the top. 1, nice little straight leg. Make sure you cushion your feet when you land. 2, 3, 4, 5. This time we're going to get our knees up to about a foot off the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5. This time really going to try and extend, get up to about hip height. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This time, really explosive, and we're trying to get our knees as high as we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, moving into a lunge, 5 on each foot. then into an explosive lunge. So very simply, static, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch legs, so it's from the other angle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this time we're going to come up and we're going to try and add a jump into the lunge, okay? So, down, 1, 2, if you can go straight into another lunge, do so, 3, 4, 5, switch legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now to just warm our upper body up a little bit. So down into a press up. I want 5 narrow, not narrow, normal width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch it back. And then into a slightly wider one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is where we're going to do an explosive press up. So you press up, bring your feet together, and it should look a little bit like this. So 5 of these. So it's down. As we push up, we explode up and bring our feet together and stand up. So we're going to do 5 of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, and last one. 5.
Once you've done that, if you want to do some dynamic stretches with your legs, throwing them up, so you can do leg swings, you can do sideways leg swings, and then we can do some arm movements as you feel ready. Otherwise, moving on to either sprinting or shot put. Moving on to shot put. So 3 coaching points I want us to focus on today is number one is what I call a clean palm. So when we do a shot put, you really don't want the ball resting inside your palm. So we want it in our fingertips. And so the whole time you need to remember clean palm, whether you're using a football or a small ball like this. So coaching point 1 is a clean palm. Coaching point 2 is this is a push throw rather than a throw. So when we do javelin, it's called a pull, and we pull back. Discus is a sling, but shot put is a push. So when you are pushing, if you come back and put it back here, it's a foul throw. So we need to go from here and push forwards. The whole momentum is pushing. So coaching point 2 is to remember that it is a push and for the ball to never go backwards at any point. So 1, clean palm. 2, the ball must be a push and never go backwards. And then 3 is a rotation of the body and pushing through with explosive power. So coaching point 3, body rotation and explosive power. So the first drill, there's the 3 coaching points for this session. Drill number 1, all I want you to do is stand sideways on, put the ball under your chin, make sure you've got the clean palm for coaching point 1, and then all I want you to do is just simply practice pushing the ball forward from a front on stance. So from here, all I'm going to do is just push up like so. Not like that, because that was terrible. So from here, I'm just going to push up like so. If you're lucky and you've got a wall, even better. So from here, sideways on, pushing up. That's drill 1. That's going to get us that initial technique, looking at a 45-degree angle on the release. There are your coaching points, and that's drill 1. Moving on to drill 2. When we do shot put and discus, we are normally stood in a circle. So what I'd like you to do is try and set up a little circle around yourself. This is smaller than it would normally be, but my garden's a bit smaller. So when we do our shot put and discus, we kind of do want to use this whole circle because we do want to have a little bit of momentum when we get into the shot put. So the next couple of drills, I'm just going to show you one technique and then a second technique which is much more complex for the more older year 10, 11s. So what I want us to look at this time is to make sure we get a little bit of our rotation in, because all our power and strength is going to come from our thighs, up through our abdominals and into our chest. If we stand here and push like in the first video, all the power is coming from my shoulder, deltoid, bicep and tricep. So in reality, we want to use as many muscles as possible because the more muscles equals more power, which equals more distance. Same proposition, still going to hold the ball into our chin. This time, all we're going to do is come back to this position here. The reason I'm here, as I rotate, my abdominals are going to contract, my hip flexors, my quads, and as I turn and twist, I've also got the momentum coming through. Alright, so we've got no momentum from here. This has got a bit of forward momentum. So for the second drill, all I want us to have a look at is, we're not going to shuffle too far, but we're going to stand here in the middle. I'm going to come back here, back into my rotation. As I push forward, I'm just going to step forward with my right foot because I'm right-handed. If I was left-handed, it's exactly the same, except I'm going to step forward with my left foot. So remember, clean palm, stand in the middle of the circle, twist down to here, and then as I come through, push up and push through. So it should look a little bit like this. Okay, have a go at that and look at generating that power with your core and quads. Okay, now we've got our technique where we've got our twist and we've got our push. We go into the third drill, which is you can have a practice and see the difference. Okay, so now we've got that push and step forward and follow through. We're going to have a little bit of a slide first to see if we can generate a little bit more speed as we come through. And then I'm going to show you the second one, which is a really difficult one, which I've not done very often, and so is a rotation as you go, because that's what the professionals do. So they will rotate before they push, because that rotation generates more power. But start with the shuffle. So with shot put and javelin and things like that, in theory we're trying to exert as much energy as possible. So you can shout and scream when you do it, because that's releasing the air in your lungs and again pushing through. Right, to the shuffle. So starting at the back of your circle, you start from here, the same twisting position, and then you're going to take a step to your foot, a step, and then push through. Okay, so my circle's quite small. You would normally have 2 steps, but I can only fit 1 in. So from here, I'm going to step and rotate through and then bring my foot forward, okay? And then that should generate a little bit more power. Okay? If you've got enough space in your garden, 1, 2, rotate and push through. If you want, get that grunt in, as you release, and that will give you a little bit more power. On to the second one. So again, we start at the back of the box. From here, we're going to twist, stay low, and push through. If you can get 2 rotations in, fantastic. So we start low and push through like so. And my ball's just gone over the fence. It's going to roll 400 meters down the path. Try both of those, rotation and the slide. See which one works for you. When you do the rotation, try and throw it straight. If the problem you might have is as you come out the rotation, you might release the ball either way of these. We want it dead straight. You don't want to stop as you come out the rotation as it defeats the point. So try and spin and release. See how you get on. Okay, now we've got all the technique. On to the last bit. Have a go and get some distances. So if you can see, I have used just a roller hockey stick and a golf club to set up my angle of what I need to throw between. So you need to set the angle up about between 1 and 2 o'clock and between 10 and 11 o'clock. And the further out you get, the more space you have. And that's the angle we're trying to go through. Got my tape measure out. I'm going to have a go at both the shuffle and the twist see which one I can throw the ball further in, have a go, and see how you get